Well, hey there, everyone. So you made it. We're on week 8, the last week of class. Time flies when we're having fun, as they say. So congratulations for getting through the course, and just such a fun time for me to read your material and listen to your videos and watch you and see your faces and all of that business is so great for me. But to see the growth through the last 7 weeks of class has been really great. And as I said in the beginning, I just love teaching this class because of that reason. I feel like you are doing such a marvelous job making the connections and then tying those into what that means for your own personal well-being, but then also tying those leadership principles in, which is to say how we interact and have relationship with others. So that's the sneakiness behind this class. This is really about making those connections between your personal well-being and your relationships with others, regardless of context, and that they are so interconnected and so highly dependent upon each other. And I feel like you've done such a marvelous job of doing that. And I commend all of you for your hard work and your enthusiasm and your interest in these what can be difficult topics, and certainly topics that might be more out of the ordinary, or certainly not traditional within within the health and wellness space, but maybe should be, at least in my own mind, but I might be biased. How about that? So the week 8, as you see in week 8, that is the ultimate application side of this. We've been working on the application side for the last 2 weeks, and then this third week we bring it all together. And one of the things that you notice that you this week get to develop guiding principles for yourself. So these are overarching themes. You've done your the purpose, life purpose pieces, and I think some of you have rightly noticed out of that from reading the book, which is really good, as I noted before, that Strucker is one of my favorite authors. He just has a great way of writing, and I love that research that he's done on life purpose. But it does miss some components, and some of you have rightly noticed that, at least my own opinion, has missed some components. It's so much psychologically based, and so we might be missing ways of knowing what our purpose is by just looking at it from one aspect of it. So anyway, what you've done that assignment, and now what you get to do here in the final week of class is to develop at least 3 guiding principles for yourself as you move forward. And this is the take-home message of this class. So hopefully every class that you take has something that you can carry forward into both your personal life and your professional life. And this is what the take-home assignment, I guess, if you will, for this class is developing guiding principles. So I'm excited to see how you do on that, and I love reading those from your assignment. So your guiding principles should, as you see in the assignment, have an accompanying paragraph to explain a little bit about it for yourself. But the other pieces that you get an opportunity to do is to kind of bring this full circle for yourself relative to wholeness and to holism. And I'm looking at the objectives, or I'm thinking about the objectives anyway, that explaining what all of this means. What, can you wrap your arms around holism within the context that we talked about it in this course? And hopefully maybe you've gotten an appreciation that holism, as crazy as it sounds, means many things. It means everything, but it means many things, and it's sometimes it's hard to articulate that. And in a lot of ways, I think some of the issues that we're seeing in society is we're struggling with the idea of holism. And if you've recognized in the last 8 weeks that holism doesn't just include the parts that we like about life, but it includes the parts that we don't like about life, the parts that are hard, the parts that include suffering, and that there's a recognition that those parts are also important for some reason, and that perhaps our way forward in trying to deal with that tension that exists of having, as some say, order in one part and disorder in another and happening at the same time, is that there's an acceptance there. And that might be the way forward, is not an acceptance in that it's okay that people are suffering, but an acceptance in a way that says, I know that it's part of the whole, and that I have to manage and come to terms with the tension that exists there of the good and the not so good, the really living life and the suffering of life that happens at the same time, the order and the disorder, as some say. And that might be the overarching, one of the overarching messages of this class, is that it might help explain why we have so many challenges now, that we really want things to be nice and neat and ordered so that we can fully understand them and appreciate and manipulate and control and make life predictable for ourselves. When in fact we realize that we, so many areas we can't do that with, and so that makes us frustrated and angry and sad and lonely and cynical and nihilistic. And but if we can get to a space where we see that as part of the whole, there's a grander picture of something, there's a grander story that's happening that we hopefully can start to recognize. If we can come to terms and have some level of acceptance of that, then our personal well-being makes it to a different level, and happiness and joy seem to follow. As maybe counter as that sounds, is that if we start to let go and stop clinging to these ideals, then perhaps that is a way that we move towards our happiness and our joy and being less stressed and less burned out. If we try to let go of some of that order that we're trying to create and accept that there will always be some disorder that accompanies life and accompanies our jobs and the institutions like healthcare and academia and government and finance and you name it, that seems to be the pattern that happens. And that is all part of this idea of holism. And that's hard to get ourselves there, to be able to have the ability to put ourselves in a position to be able to come to terms with that. And I think that's, as we concluded the posturing book, is that, is the intent of that, is posturing towards wholeness, posturing being the word there that we are trying to figure out how we literally and figuratively put ourselves in a position of acceptance of what is. And in order to do that, I think that probably takes a contemplative stance, some contemplative practice. So I think if we're continuing to run at 100 miles an hour as we do in our day-to-day lives, and trying to just manage the world as it is, the chaos that happens on all facets, without stopping and at least creating a level of stillness to be able to let that part go, at least for a little bit of the day, 20 minutes of the day, I guess. It's hard for us to be able to manage all that noise that's happening. So that is why at the end of that book, and I hope you have a chance to maybe look at it again now that class is over, I would highly recommend reading the Posturing Towards Wholeness book again now that we're finished with the class. And that some of the conclusions in there is hopefully making good sense that we need to have some contemplative practice that we do so that we can come to terms with the opposites that seem to be always present in life, that we can hold all of the opposites, both of the opposites, however you look at it, hold them together in the same space and be able to appreciate that they both need to be there, even though they don't make sense, and trying to even let go of that, of trying to make sense of it all. That has been one of our things, particularly that we have tried to do and well documented, that it makes us feel better if we can make sense of everything. And I think if we can let go of that, trying to make sense of it all, and just developing a level of acceptance. Again, not saying that, oh, well, we don't have to do anything about racism and our disadvantaged members of society. No, that's just the opposite. That if we're able to recognize the wholeness, then it becomes a bit clearer on what is ours to do, and I think then the Spirit moves us in that direction to help those that need it at the times and in the ways that are needed. Just those are, I guess, just some concluding thoughts. I think I could probably ramble, which I feel like I'm kind of doing on for forever about this, but I just wanted again to let you know that I feel like all of you have been such an important part of this course, and that your contributions that you've made to each other and to me in the understanding of these issues has been fantastic. And I think sometimes as a student you feel like this is a one-sided thing, that you got the teacher on the one side and the student on the other, and it's just a one-way relationship, and I promise you it's not. I've learned a lot from you this last 8 weeks, and I thank you for that. I'm appreciative. I'm grateful for what I have been able to learn in this course from you all as well. So I guess I would say, if you want to carry on the conversations in this, I would welcome that in any form that makes sense. If you ever want to discuss any of these topics, just shoot me an email or pick up the phone, let me know. I'd be happy to meet and chat and do whatever makes sense that way. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful spring break. And if you're in a Term 2 class, I wish you the best in a Term 2 class. I know some of you I'll have in class again in Term 2 under much different circumstances. We're going to talk about statistics and research. But hopefully we'll be able to appreciate the connections between this class and that class too. But if I don't see you any longer in any classes, I wish you all the best and down your journey, and please stay in touch too. I'd love to hear from you. Good luck with the rest of this week and with writing your guiding principles, and I can't wait to read them. Take care.